What's going on, guys? My name is Josh Settlage. I am the BJJ strength coach. I'm here at Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, here to show you guys the right way on how to do one of my favorite exercises, the Bulgarian split squat. Bulgarian split squat is awesome, and it's great for wrestling and jiu-jitsu because it's a unilateral exercise. Unilateral, all that means is you're doing one side of the body. If you're doing an air squat, that's a bilateral exercise because you're using both legs. If you're doing a Bulgarian split squat, that's going to be unilateral because you're only using one leg. So all you're going to need is a bench or something to rest your back foot on. And what you're going to do, the first step is to find your spacing between your legs. A lot of times people make the mistake of getting way too close to the bench, and they get in this weird position where they can't really lower themselves down in a way that allows them to feel their hamstring and their glute working. And at the same time, sometimes people also make the mistake of going way too far, and then they're way off balance and they can't really load that exercise up in that position well because they're way too unbalanced. So what you're going to do is you're just going to kick your back leg, rest it on the bench. You can go toes up like this, or kind of plant your toes into the bench, or you can just rest the top of your foot on the bench. I prefer to rest the top of my foot on the bench. Just pick what works best for you. But you're gonna kind of find the right distance between your front leg and your back leg. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower ourselves down, and you know you have the right spacing if at the bottom position, your knee is directly over your ankle. We don't wanna be too far this way. We don't want to be too far this way where our ankle's in front. And again, we don't want to be too far back where our ankle's behind our knee. We want to have a nice good distance so that when we come back, our knee is directly over our ankle. So when we're doing the Bulgarian split squat, you're going to get set. You want to gently flex your core. You don't necessarily need to get real tight like you're doing a 1-rep max, but you want to keep your core braced tight. You don't want to be in this loosey-goosey position. What you're going to do is you're going to drop your back knee down to the floor. Sometimes it'll touch, sometimes it won't. That just depends on how high off the ground your back leg is. But you're going to drop your back knee into a position where on your front leg, about 90 degrees or below parallel on your hip, your knee is directly over your ankle. And then when we come up, I'm going to drive down through my heel as I stand. This is really going to help engage my glute and my hamstring, two muscles of the posterior chain. The posterior chain is one of the most important chain of muscles that you can develop as an athlete. You can't be strong if your posterior chain is weak. I just showed you guys the body weight version of the Bulgarian split squat. You can do this as an accessory exercise. You can include this in your warm-ups, but you can also use this as a speed and plyometric exercise by doing Bulgarian split squat jumps. Everything about the Bulgarian split squat jump is exactly the same. Making sure you have the right spacing. You're going to come down, and then when you come up, you're going to be as explosive as possible in one big powerful motion. Swing your arms up and then land softly. So you have a warm-up, an accessory version, or warm-up / accessory version. I have a power and plyometric version. And then if you're trying to get super jacked and super strong, you can add load to this exercise. I like to use a dumbbell. What I like to do, I'm gonna switch legs here, that way you guys can see. What I like to do is hold the dumbbell in the opposite hand of my working leg. The reason being is because I have plenty of space here, and the dumbbell isn't gonna constantly run into my thigh. When you hold it on the same side, sometimes if you're using a dumbbell that's big enough, it can kind of bump into your legs, bruise up your thighs. That's really never fun. So I'll hold it in the opposite hand of my working leg. Same rules apply. I want my knee to be directly over my ankle. I want to keep my core braced tight. I want to get my hip to 90 degrees or below parallel. And when I come up, I'm going to drive through my heel. That's how you do the Bulgarian split squat.